everyone, it's Gina from orchidandopal.com, and I'm back today to share 8 finished jewelry pieces that I made based on the contents of the November 2-hole Beads of the Month Club. If you can recall, in that video I shared 8 containers of 2-hole beads that were curated around the theme called heirloom jewelry. I have what is left here. You can see that I still have enough beads to make even more items. I did use all of the super duos, all except one of the kite beads, all except 2 of the vexillos. These are all of the Amos parpukas that I have left. And then I have about a half a container of the paisley duos, the gem duos, the ginkgos, and the Samos parpukas. So hopefully this video gives you an idea of all the things that can be created out of these little containers of beads. Their themes change every month, so the color variations will be different as well. If you'd like to try out their subscription, I have a coupon code. It's Opal10 that will save you 10% off your first month of your first club. And I'll leave that as well as the link to their subscription right down below the video. You definitely want to check out their site and see all the different options that they have, from seed beads only to Swarovski crystal and so on, and even a rotating club, which is the one I'm sharing today, where it rotates through all their different clubs, and this month happened to be the 2-hole beads. So out of the 8 designs in total that I had to share, I've got 2 pair of earrings, 4 bracelets, and 2 necklaces. Most of these are all original designs that I'll be coming back to share as tutorials in the future. I think you'll see that I was really inspired by the contents, as I usually am, with the 2-hole beads of the month. The first item I want to share is a pair of earrings. As you can see, I used the Amos parpukas, the Samos, and the paisley duos, and I also used some 15-0 seed beads and just a few 11-0 seed beads from my stash to come up with this earring design, which actually comes together pretty quickly, and I can't wait to share it. I also created another colorway in black and gold, and it is so sharp. This would also make a really cool pendant, and I was torn between either sharing this as a pendant necklace or an earring. Here's a look at the back so you can kind of see how it is put together. And then I did some outlining of the top with 15-0s, which I ended up doing quite a bit with some of these items I have to share. So that's item number 1. Item number 2 is the next pair of earrings, and this is something a little bit different, using some wire and some of these earring frames that I had recently gotten from bbcraft.com. I've been wanting to put together either an earring set or some type of a pendant with these types of findings where you take the parpuka shapes or interesting 2-hole bead shapes and you put them together kind of like a mosaic inside of a metal frame and kind of wire wrap them in. So this was just something I was playing around with, and I like how it came out. I like the combination. It's kind of modern, simple, and as you can see, I used the Amos parpuka beads as little teardrops and the vexillos in between, just wire wrapping these onto some gold earring frames with some 24 gauge wire. I'll share this bracelet with you next. So this is one, you can see that the ginkgo beads, actually those came from my stash. They're a really interesting batik pattern. Those are something I picked up on my own. And I could have used the ginkgos that were in this particular set of products, but I was also using those backlit gem duos, and I wanted the gem duos to kind of be set apart and set off against the ginkgos and not just blend in all together. But as you can see with the contents of the subscription, you could make this same design and just add in the seed beads from your stash. These are 15-0 seed beads. And as you can see, I also used the vexillos in this little X pattern. And this is how it came together. I haven't made another colorway of this yet, but of course I will down the line, especially before sharing as a tutorial. I love to play around with different colors and decide on the best method to teach these to you. So that was my first bracelet. Another thing was all of these beads kind of gave a red and green sort of color combination. I was trying to come up with something different than just the straight up red and green. So this is more of a red and bronze gold metallic combination. Next up, I have a pendant necklace, which I'm really excited about. I did add a Rivoli, that crystal stone in there. It's a deep purple Swarovski stone from my stash. And of course the seed beads, and then these little paisley duos back here. Those are another type that I had in my stash, but as you can see, the Amos Parpuca beads are from this set of products, and they did include paisley duos, so you could definitely put the red ones in place of this. But like I said, I was trying to do some alternate colorways besides just the green and the red. And I keep saying green, that's because these tend to look green, even though they're really a golden metallic. Here's a look at the back of this pendant. You can kind of see how I pulled that all together. I made another colorway in a bronze and gold and red, so I'll share that in my next finished jewelry update. But I was dying to use these little polka dot paisley duos, and I liked the way they looked with those green Amos Parpucas and that purple stone that I had. Next, I have another bracelet, and this one is using the Amos Parpuca beads as well as those gem duos, the backlit red in the center, and the gold splattered kite beads. You can see from the back kind of how that went together, and then I added the extra embellishment there on the top again with the gold 15-0 seed beads, and I think it came out to create a really unique pattern. I love the backlit gem duos and how they add something special to each of the designs that they're used in. Here's how that bracelet looks on the wrist. This blue one, by the way, I'll be sharing very soon in an upcoming tutorial. So that is design number 5, and once again, that will be coming in the future as a tutorial. I'll show you how I made this bracelet. Next, I'll show you a necklace that I made from the Super Duos. This is made out of the tubular herringbone stitch using 2-hole beads and 11-0 seed beads, and I used every single Super Duo that I had from this subscription, and it was just a little bit shorter than I would have liked it to be for a necklace. So I took the 11-0 seed beads that I was using, these silver ones, and I continued the rope in a tubular herringbone style and attached 2 wire guards and the clasp back there, as you can see. Just love how this came out. The Super Duos they sent this month are just absolutely gorgeous, and they have just the slightest purplish cast to them, even though for all intents and purposes they look gold. And I like the idea of pairing them with the silver. You get those 2 metallics coming together, and overall making a very wearable and pretty simple to make beaded necklace. And that's actually quite a bit of Super Duos that are in the subscription. This is the double club, by the way. You could sign up for single clubs. They give you half the amounts of beads, but still 8 different types. And that's why I say these little containers can be deceiving, because it's amazing how much you can actually do with what they send. All right, I have 2 more bracelets to share. Let's see, I'll share this one next. This is one that I made with the red and gold splash kite duo beads and those bronze colored vexillo beads that the color is actually called jet gold. And I will put up a link to all of these items separately on a blog post in case you see anything here that you wanted to pick up separately. I was able to find most of these on Etsy. So this was actually the first thing I made from the contents, just playing around with the different shapes and seeing how all of this comes together. And actually, I think this could be made into a necklace as well with a little bit of adjusting to give it more of a rounded shape. Also have some of those backlit gem duos in there, acting as little links in between these fun shapes. And there's a look at it on my wrist. All right, and for the 8th and final item that I made from the contents is this very fancy bracelet using the Amos Parpuca beads in the center, the backlit ginkgo beads, and then I added some seed beads and the little Minos Parpuca beads from my stash, something they had actually sent me earlier in a previous month, which happened to be in the same color as the vexillos they sent in the jet gold, which end up looking like a chocolate brown or bronze color. Here's a look at the back of the bracelet so you can see kind of how it all came together. And then on the top, I did a lot of embellishing with 15-0 seed beads to really frame all of these different shapes, bring them all together, and it almost feels like a piece of fabric. It's just so solid, it feels really good. Here's a look at it wrapped around my wrist a little bit, and you can see again those backlit ginkgo beads just add so much to the bracelet. Kind of looks like stained glass. So that is what I was inspired to create from November's 2-hole double beads of the month club. I wasn't intending to make so many original designs. I was actually going to look up some other things by other designers to share, but I was so on a roll playing around with all the different shapes and kept thinking of new ideas and just kind of ran with them. Figured I'd stop at 8. That gives you a really good idea, hopefully, of all the things you can do with the beads in these clubs and still have quite a few left over to work with and save for future projects. Like I said, if you'd like to try out their subscription, you can use the coupon code OPAL10, and I'll leave that as well as the link to their subscription right down below the video. I also have a playlist sharing over 2 years worth of unboxings of all their different clubs, so be sure to check that out if you haven't already. I'll be back again probably next week with another finished jewelry update to share things that I've made from some of the other boxes that I've shared throughout the month and a few additional colorways of these designs. So I hope you'll stay tuned for that. I want to give you guys a huge thank you for being with me for this video. I love being able to share the pieces that I've made, what I've been up to with you guys, and I love hearing and seeing what you all have been up to as well. If you enjoyed this video, I'd love for you to give it a big thumbs up and do subscribe while you're here so you can join me again for future beading videos. As I said, I also have a lot of tutorials to come in the future, so I'll definitely be back. Below the video, you'll also find links to my social media handles. Please feel free to join me on those channels as well, and check out my website and blog at orchidandopal.com. Until next time, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. I hope you're staying healthy and creative. And as always, happy beading.